Welcome back to Morbid News, Hangover Edition. Your girl drank way too much last night, but I'm still gonna make a video. Oh god, that's bright. Well, this episode of Morbid News is brought to you by vodka, aka my grandma's breakfast. Speaking of grandmas, my grandma's Polish, and our first story comes straight out of Poland. Well, nobody's invaded Poland in a while, so they decided there wasn't enough drama. So instead, they're burning Harry Potter books. An evangelical group called the SMS from Heaven Foundation thought that Harry Potter was too satanic, too evil, too magical, too fun, probably. So they burned all the books. I just don't get it. I went to church growing up. Not religious. I do not have any religion now. I'm not part of anything. I consider myself an atheist. But obviously the Catholic Church in general has a lot of problems right now. I think burning some children's YA novels are kind of the least of their worries at this point. What do I know? Moving on, trying to get through this kind of quickly before I pass out, die, or vomit, or all of those at the same time. A woman in Bangladesh had two functioning uteruses and gave birth to one child and then gave birth to twins 26 days later. She didn't know she was pregnant twice. I mean, this sounds like a nightmare. This sounds like my literal worst nightmare. I can't imagine being pregnant once, but actually being pregnant at the same time with 3 different kids. You don't even know it. I guess then you're done. You're kind of like, all right, I've done it. I'm done. I don't need any more of this. But this condition, which they call uterus didelphys, I think, and it happens 1 in every million women. So this is extremely rare. Not only that, like being pregnant at the same time. Sometimes, it's hard for people to get pregnant twice at the same time. Those odds must be astronomical. She should definitely be playing the lottery. But I do not envy her. The whole thing sounds really terrible. Got some news out of Florida. I'm surprised I haven't reported anything from Florida. It's just all weird and crazy down there. A former college student thought he was half dog, half man. I believe they call that a Mog. Anybody else watch Spaceballs? I'm a Mog. Half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend. Miss you, John Candy. So, as funny as that is, it ain't, because he murdered 2 people. And when he was found, he was literally eating or chewing on one of his neighbor's faces. In the report, it says he was being threatened to be shot, tased, got kicked in the head multiple times, and was still trying to eat this person's face. So clearly, he is psycho, and they're trying to plead insanity on this one. I don't think it's going to be that hard, to be fair. I mean, he just wanted a snack. We all get a little hungry sometimes. This next story is probably my favorite for today. A Canadian family was going on vacation in America. They drove across the border, and apparently Grandpa was starting to feel kind of sick. And the Canadians, logically were like, American healthcare, too expensive. We're not bringing Grandpa to the hospital. Died from a heart attack. And then they're like, American funeral systems, no way, we're not dealing with that. So they were driving 2 days with Grandpa's dead body in the car to go back to the border, where eventually they were stopped, and they were like, yo, you have a dead body in your car. That's like illegal? Is it? Someone let me know. I actually don't know. Is that illegal? I mean, to me, it makes total sense. America is not great with healthcare. I mean, they probably would have had to pay a lot of money out of pocket. I don't blame them for wanting to do what's best for Grandpa. And maybe Grandpa didn't want to go to the hospital. And maybe Grandpa didn't want his body to be transported back, in a body bag to Canada. Like, maybe he wanted to spend the last, few minutes time, I don't know, with his family, and maybe he wanted to, have his dead body in the car as his family drove back to the Canadian border. And for my last story today, there was a huge rabbi funeral in Brooklyn recently, and a hearse ran over a cop's leg. I guess he was trying to do some crowd control. Must have gotten out of hand. I don't know. Hearses don't even drive that fast usually, especially if there's a crowd. So I'm not really sure exactly how he managed to get his leg run over, but anything to do with hearses, I'm all in. I just recently thought about, well, I've always actually wanted to own a hearse, but I just started kind of looking on Craigslist. So if anybody has a hearse for sale, you let me know. I want to be that girl driving around town, my hearse. Gonna get, a couch in the back, gonna drive to the beach, open up the back and chill in the back and have a fake looking coffin or something to lie in and come out like I'm Dracula. Those are just my dreams, but I realize I have some weird dreams and not everybody feels the same way I do. But that's all the news I have for you today. I am gonna go lie down and nurse this hangover. I feel terrible. And I'll see you next week. Bye.